Alright, well, consider my ass even more motivated this time. I just finished playing through Devil May Cry 2, and I just finished playing through Devil May Cry 2 as Lucia for the first time. A thing I had never done because, as a kid, my copy of Devil May Cry 2, no disc 2. I got it just from, I think it was my cousin? Yeah, I got it from my cousin, actually, and he had no disc 2. I don't know why he was missing it. I don't know if this is some huge back history of, like, the missing copy of Devil May Cry disc 2. Devil May Cry 2 disc 2. But anyways, so, having the HD collection, I just played through Devil May Cry 2 Lucia, and it was freaking awesome. Devil May Cry 2 rocks. I don't care what any of, yeah, it's got, like, it's got some things here and there. Like I, said in the previous video, it definitely has its flaws. That infest the chopper is rough still, blah blah blah. But let me just say, like, after playing through Devil May Cry as Dante, take a shot for every time I say Devil May Cry 2, but, playing through as Dante was, like, fun, and, I definitely, had some, like, ups and downs, and I was pretty much right about everything I said. Like, yeah, Infested Chopper was rough, especially because, like, there's, like, 3 sections of the Infested Chopper thing. There's, like, where it's, where you have to, like, climb the building on the inside, like you're jumping up the, floors and stuff, and the chopper is chasing you, and I was like, yeah, this is really cool, and I was, like, shooting it just alongside, but I knew, like, I'm not gonna kill it till I get to the roof, so I, like, would shoot it a little bit, just for fun, but mostly leave it, you know what I mean? Well, once you get to the top of the roof, it refills the chopper's health, no matter how much damage you dealt. So, like, if it just would have, like, been one continuous health bar, I wouldn't have minded it, and I don't think anybody else would either. But, and like, looking back, I think I knew that, but I just forgot, so I was, pure, ignorant to the whole, it gets his health back anyway, so there's no point in, there's no point in, fuck Tyler, talk, in shooting it beforehand, because then it really is just back to 5 minutes of bam, 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 but, oh, and the moth thing? The moth is a lot of fun. I don't know its name because they all have, like, super long names, but the moth is really fun. Yeah, it's up in the air, but again, like I said in my previous review, as long as you've been, like, upgrading your guns and stuff like that, you can tear through that moth, and, the worms, like the larva, make it interesting, and you have to dodge that. I don't know. I really like the moth fight. I think if you're going to do an enemy that's in the air, that's how you do it, because it's just close enough to where you're not, like, the infested chopper is, like, off screen half the time. The moth actually, like, is visible the whole time. It's got the larva, so you got something else to do and whack at every now and then not just, like, random enemies. Like, if there was, like, just random demons, I wouldn't like that. And, like, the larva actually give you something to fight and give you something to do, and I like that. The heads, however, I don't know. The 3 floating heads that, like, form one head and stuff, yeah, that fucking sucks. I'd say it's even worse than the, Infested Chopper, because the Infested Chopper is at least simple, and I mean that as a compliment and an insult, and yeah, a compliment in an insulting way, because I could have just said a backhanded compliment. But anyways, yeah, the Infested Chopper is simple. All you have to do is stand there, occasionally move around so you don't get hit by the missiles. It's literally, you have to list lazily to the left. A missile comes at you, you just have to you know? But, I digress. Oh, and yeah, when the moth comes in both Dante's and Lucia's thing, it immediately does this. You know, like, I don't know if they meant it like that, but like, the moth comes in and it's flapping its wings and then it takes its little legs and does, you know, it's like, ah, yes, yes, you've entered my lair. I don't know. I just was like, what the fuck? You know? It's like, you know you had to. I'm getting way too excited. But the moth is like, you know I had to do it to you, Dante. Or Lucia. You know? Speaking of Lucia, I really like her. I think she is great. And in the last video, take another shot every time I say in the last video, because, you know, pairs, even though I didn't label it as part 1 and part 2, but whatever. But in the last video, I said, like, why is Lucia never came back? And I kind of rethought it and was like, well, because the way Devil May Cry goes is 3, 1, 4, 2, 5. You know, that's the order of the games. So, chronologically, she's only missed out on 1 game, which ain't too bad. But as far as release order, she's missed out on 3, 4, and 5. You know, so 3 games. Pretty rough. And I like Lucia. She's really cool. I recently learned about this comic, which is like a prequel comic to Devil May Cry 5, and it has Dante and Lucia going to fight Balrog. Why didn't we get that? You know, why didn't we get that in the game, or like in 5 I'm talking, or like in a flashback, or even a cutscene, you know? Or like, hell, I'll take a reference if you just mention Lucia, you know? Because she's cool. And that leads me into talking about Lucia's campaign. Lucia has a campaign. Like, a campaign. She doesn't have, like, Dante's campaign with 1 cutscene at the end, a beginning, and 1 cutscene at the end. Like, you know, everybody, like, loves Virgil and all that. And I love Virgil. But Virgil's campaign in DMC3 is just Dante's campaign. It's fucking lame. It's, you do get a special cutscene at the beginning, and you get a special cutscene at the end, and I think the, I want to say the beginning of Virgil's campaign, you start in a different spot or something for your tutorial stage, but then it goes right back to Dante's shop. Like, why would Virgil be in Dante's shop? And that has always been incredibly lazy to me. I still played it, you know, but that has always been incredibly lazy to me. In Devil May Cry 4, there is no fucking point playing anybody but Nero and Dante. And I say that because they're like 2, but you know that already if you're watching this. Like, playing as Virgil in Devil May Cry 4 is the most pointless fucking thing you can do. Because unless you just really fucking love Virgil, which I do, you know, like, I have the fucking sword and everything, you know. Unless you just really love Virgil, it's pointless, because let me tell you, the cutscene is Virgil walking, and then the cutscene at the end of the game is Virgil walking. It's just walking up and walking away. It is the biggest waste of my time. And the fact that they made me sit through an entire fucking game, like, I should have just looked it up. You know, I should have just looked up Virgil cutscenes, Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition. And kind of the same with Devil May Cry 5. Now, like, yeah, games are much bigger by the time you get to Devil May Cry 5. Did I expect them to do a whole campaign? No, but you could have done what they did to Lucia, for Lucia, I should say, not 2, but for Lucia in Devil May Cry 2. You start in a different spot, in a different part of the island, and your missions go in a different order, and then, like, right around mission, I think it was 7, like, you get this whole other, like, section, you know, this whole part of the game is, like, specifically unique to Lucia, and she gets like some underwater levels, and like, yeah, you can make an argument like underwater levels suck, and yeah, I mean it's kind of lame, but let me tell you, her underwater levels are way better than Devil May Cry 1's underwater level. Devil May Cry 1's underwater level sucks. It, like, you drop in, and first of all, you can't do anything at all except for shoot this one gun that shoots 3 bullets. And I mean, it's got a fast enough rate of fire. It's like, you know, but it's not a continuous fire. And it shoots 3 bullets, and you get dropped into this first-person mode, which is literally nowhere else in the game. It's just that, which is like so incredibly jarring. Whereas this game, Devil May Cry 2, she jumps in the water, and you have full control, like just third person, and you're slower, sure, and you're kind of floaty, obviously, and like, and it gives you, which is literally like them kind of like, to me it felt like they were saying like, yeah, that last needle gun sucked, here's a better one, because this thing is like a crossbow thing, but it is a rapid fire needle gun. Like, that's literally what it is. It's just that they made it again, made it look different, except now it fires continuously and eats through health bars, you know. And like, my only complaint is I wish you could move around while you're shooting it, because you have to stand exactly still. Now, it also, you don't float down, like, you don't sink whenever you shoot it, so if you want to stay up high, you can shoot it and keep shooting it and stuff like that, so you don't sink, you know, so that's good. But, yeah, I wish you could move around. That's my only complaint. Like, if I can move around and just go like a bee, like a buzzard or something, I don't know. That'd be great. And I really like how there are several cutscenes for Lucia. This is not Virgil getting a cutscene at the beginning and end of the game. This is a whole half of the story mode. It actually, probably because I just played it recently, but Batman Arkham City, it totally gave me those vibes. Like, in Batman Arkham City, you actually start the game as Catwoman, and then you switch back to Batman, and then there's certain points within the story mode that you switch to Catwoman. And at the end of the game, you can actually just switch to Catwoman whenever you want, like after you beat the game. You don't have to 100% it, you just beat it. But anyways, and I feel like that's what they were going for with this, and probably what they would have done if the hardware and like, you know, limitations would allow it. Like, if they had free range and could do like whatever they wanted with this, I feel like they would have had you switch off from Dante to Lucia. It's kind of weird. But I feel like they would have done that rather than having it be whole separate campaigns. Would that maybe have made the story like way too long? I don't know. But I feel like having it be 2 separate campaigns, and again, these are separate campaigns. Yes, there are shared levels, obviously, but and I really like how it feels like as Lucia, you're just 2 steps behind Dante. Like, for instance, there's this like gate that you raise at like the beginning of the game. I think it's like mission, I don't know, mission 2? I don't know. I think it's mission 1 actually. Yeah, it's mission 1 because I don't fucking know. Anyways though, but all it is a grate that you have to raise as Dante. Well, as Lucia, it's already raised, because raising it twice would be repetitive and redundant. So why would you do it again? There's another section where, as Dante, you go into this room, and there's like this giant fan on, and a plane, and stuff like that, and it's not even explained. There's just a giant fan and a plane. Well, Lucia is the one that turned that on. And I really like just, it's small stuff like that that just shows like, hey, they're in the same area, they're doing things around each other, and one's interacting with like, they don't interact too much. I think there was like 4 cutscenes maybe where they actually interacted, but the other's presence is still felt, and I really thought that was cool. And I really feel like Lucia's campaign, it completes Devil May Cry 2. Like, you have to play both halves to get the full experience, because there are sections where I was like playing Dante's, and I was like, yeah, Lucia's cool, but why is she so melodramatic, you know? Like, it's not that serious. Well, play Lucia's campaign. Oh, it is that serious. Okay. I'm sorry, Lucia. I misjudged you. You know, and the bosses are great. And I did not know about, Orius, Argosax? Yeah. Or Argosax Orius, one or the other. Where he just, like, turns into this weird thing with giant, like, arm tentacle things on his shoulders, like, straight Doc Ock. Well, I guess, like, half Doc Ock, because he's only got 2, he doesn't have 4. Like, he was super cool. And then he transforms again into another thing, and that was super cool. And he's, like, perched on the walls and stuff, and you can, like, jump up and, like, hit him and stuff like that. And I didn't even figure this out until, like, I had his health down to like 25%, but you can actually jump on his back and start like comboing on the back of his head, and that's like fucking cool. I don't know. And speaking on Arius, you know, take that shot again, because I said that Arius's voice was really annoying in the last video. And I was both right and wrong, because his voice is actually really cool, and I like Arius as a character. Yeah, I like Arius. I had to make sure I got his name right, because last time I got it wrong. But I liked Arius as a character, and I actually recently just watched this, oh god, I can't remember the Brain Alerts video, and it's like 4 hours long. And he was ranking all the bosses of Devil May Cry, and the whole Devil May Cry 2 section. And what's funny is I uploaded my video, and then like a day later I found his video, and it was like uploaded a year ago. And then now I'm making this video, so like, I don't know, it's just kind of, but whatever. And he was complaining about how like Arius like just sat there and didn't do anything. And like, bro, you completely took it the wrong way. Like, I don't know, I thought like, yeah, Arius, like, he just had no time for you, you know? Like, he is like not even gonna put in the effort to fight you. And Arius isn't even much of a fighter himself. I mean, you never see, until the guy turns into like his weird corrupted demon form at the end, like Arius Argosax, you never see him even like throw a punch. You know, the dude's not a fighter. And he knows that. That's why he like, in the snap, I love that. Like where, you know, as Dante, where you confront Arius at the helicopter, and he's like, I don't have time for you. I don't remember what he says, but like, and then he just, and then summons the fucking Minotaur. Like, that's cool. You know, like, that's, I don't know, that's like smooth, suave. You know, like, I don't know, he's just, I don't know, I love it. And then, during the boss battle, when you're in his, suite, I guess? I don't know. Suite? Business room? And he's just, like, sitting there, on the chair, and he's, like, just, you know, and even, like, though he's, like, sitting there letting you wail on him, dude barely even reacts, you know, he just lets you wail on him, because he doesn't, you're not hurting him, you know? I don't know, because he doesn't have time for you. And then, like, he'll shoot the gun, and he'll flick it, snap his fingers, and, like, sick his demons on you, and stuff like that. Or his hench girls, whatever, stuff like that. You know, his mannequin demons, girls, secretaries. You know, I don't know, I really liked Arius. Until you get to the end of Dante's campaign, and he gets that whiny voice. That's not a very good, I was meant to be king of this world, you know, and that's, you're losing me, man. And like that voice is so bad that even having just finished playing Lucio's campaign, where he does not do the voice at all, and playing through most of Dante's campaign, playing through Dante's campaign where he doesn't do that voice for like 75%, it's just that 25% that I will still always remember Arius for being like, I will be the king of this world. It's so bad. And like, where was it coming from? Like, I don't know, the whole rest of the game he's calm, collected, and I have no time for you. And then he just fucking, I don't know, like, did the dude like do a lot of screaming off screen and like lose his voice? But I digress, because he's actually really cool, even despite the weird voice, And like, I feel like the whole Arias creating Lucia could have been expanded on a little bit more, but maybe they just didn't have time, didn't have like the resources and stuff like that. And she was a secondary character in like to begin with, so she's not going to get as much focus as Dante. So that's okay. That just means we have more opportunities to explore Lucia as a character in future installments. She better be in Devil May Cry 6 is what I'm saying. Because Lady and Trish got to come back, even though in Devil May Cry 4 they had like nothing to do with the story. And like, I don't even remember what Lady was doing in Devil May Cry 4. Trish was just dressed up as Gloria the whole time. And didn't have anything to do with Devil May Cry 4. And then in Devil May Cry 5, like... Alright, I'm not going to make a whole video on Devil May Cry 5, so I might as well get it out now. I really hate how the girls were treated in Devil May Cry 5. Like, I get, like, if you want to, I don't know, these are two legendary, badass, demon killer devil hunters. And they're just tossed aside and treated like they can't do anything at all. And, like, why is nobody bringing that up? And, like, why is nobody calling that out for being, like, kind of sexist? I mean, not to be, like, the blue-haired feminist, but, like, what happened to the strong female characters? Because, in Devil May Cry 3, Lady is a badass, and she will you'll up if you give her the chance, Like in that library fight, and then she'll just like toss 20,000 grenades at you, and she ain't gonna take crap from nobody. In Devil May Cry 4, in like the one cutscene she appears, she's a cool badass. Trish, on the other hand, in Devil May Cry 1, is like super cool, and yeah, she stabs you in the back at the end, but she goes back on it, so it's okay. We cool. She doesn't show up in Devil May Cry 2. Again, there's like one cutscene of Trish in Devil May Cry 4. I'm not counting the Gloria scenes because she was like Gloria, and my dumbass didn't even know that they were the same character, because there's no like scene where Trish undresses. Oh, let me rephrase that. There's no scene where Trish reveals that she was Gloria, and changes from one costume to the other in a non-weird, I don't know. The girls were treated wrong, and they deserved... We should have got a DLC, of Devil May Cry 5. We should have got a DLC all focused on Lady and Trish. And you could have it, like, just make it, like, 4 missions. It doesn't have to be some huge expansion. I'm not asking for another game. Just make it, like, 4 missions, and they're doing their own thing, and you could have it be that, like, job that Morgan said that, he had for them. Or maybe that's what they're planning to do for the 6th game. I don't know. But they were done dirty, because... Like, even Dante himself, you see Lady and Trish get beat at the beginning of the game, and Dante's like, those are 2 of the most badass women I know, and if you beat them, then you must be serious. Well, motherfucker, where? Show me the evidence. Don't bring up the other games. Show me in Devil May Cry 5, where Lady and Trish are the most badass devil hunter women you know. oh yeah, it's not fucking there. I don't know. But that is one of my biggest gripes with Devil May Cry 5. That and the whole, like, pretending to not say Virgil's name and, like, I don't know, stuff like that. Between the whole, we're not gonna say Virgil's name, you know, that man's body was, weakened by years of I don't know, just like, shut the fuck up, you know? All you had to say was, like, I don't know, you know, after years of fighting, he was wrecked by, battle or something, I don't know. You don't, I don't know, man, it's fucking stupid. And it's like the biggest plot twist. It's like, you know, I'm sure Darth Vader being revealed to be Luke's father blew people's minds, but like watching it today, nowadays, it ain't gonna blow anybody's mind. Like, that's the first thing anybody learns about Star Wars ever is Luke, I am your father. You know? That's the equivalent. That's how I felt. Is like, they were trying to hide that Virgil was in the game. Like, no, that's not a good example, because back then it was a good surprise. I don't know, it'd be like today if, like, episode, like, 10 or whatever was to reveal that Luke Skywalker, was to reveal that Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father. We know, you know, I don't know. But that's my biggest gripe. Back to Devil May Cry 2. I really freaking love it. There is combos. I found out how they work. You just, like, push it any direction and you do the combo. And they have shotgun combos. No other game has that. Yes, you can, like, throw in the thing where you twirl around KYRIE. You can throw that in randomly in the other games. But, like, there are dedicated shotgun combos. Hold down R1, triangle square is slash and then a cartwheel, and you shoot in the middle of your cartwheel. Triangle R1 triangle square is slash slash and then the twirl coyote. Hold R1 triangle square is you slash 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 and then, like, do some fucking one of these, you know, like you spin around and whoosh, and that's fucking cool. You know, and no other game has that, you know? None of the other games in the series. And they totally can. Like, the direction-based combos, yeah, those can't really come back just because of the way Devil May Cry is now. But the shotgun combos can come back whenever they come back. That's fucking cool. So yeah, Devil May Cry 2 fucking rocks. It's cool. Like, sure, I just finished it. Like, I just finished playing and now I'm making a video. So, like, yeah, I'm all hopped up and I'm in, like, the honeymoon suite. The honeymoon phase. But, I don't know, man. I was pretty sure I liked it from playing it, from having played it, like, 2 years ago. And I have just confirmed and cemented my opinion on Devil May Cry 2. Is that it is an awesome game, especially if you play both Dante and Lucia. I'm not saying, like, one is better than the other. They are 50-50. And it is Batman Arkham Knight, like, Devil May Cry 2 walked, so Batman Arkham City, Batman Arkham City could run. That's my hot take. Alright. It's been Scavenger. I didn't say that at the beginning, but I forgot to, so, you know. I'm Scavenger Reviews. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz and stuff like that. I hate saying that. That's so fucking weird. But yeah. That's been my review. My opinion, more like it. Not much of a review. If you want my review, it's definitely a 6 out of 10. Like a 6.5. Because this is a damn good game. But if you're looking at the rest of the series objectively, yeah, it's still pretty much on the bottom. Though, I don't know. Might be a controversial hot take. But I like Devil May Cry 2 more than Devil May Cry 4. I think. I'm not sure. I don't know. Because, like, Devil May Cry 4 really sucks. I mean, you fight a window at that point. At one point in the game. Like, you want to talk shit about the Infested Chopper? Well, at least the Infested Chopper moves around and has, like, a cool action piece before it and stuff like that. You fight a fucking window in Devil May Cry 4. Like, the scene where you're, like, in, Oh gosh, Nico's dad. Oh, that's another thing I got wrong. Is like Nico's dad is in 4. But anyways, like you fight a fucking window. I don't know. I don't know. I got some hot takes on the Devil May Cry series. I'm not rose tinted. I don't have rose tinted glasses, and I can look at things objectively and say the good things and the bad things. And I like Devil May Cry 2. I like DMC. I never played the original version, only the definitive edition. I think Devil May Cry 4 is kind of lame. Devil May Cry 3 absolutely top rocks. And Devil May Cry 5 is overrated, muddled, confused, and amazing. That's my review on the whole franchise. What can I say? I absolutely love Devil May Cry and the whole series, and I love them all equally. Scavenger reviews out, finally.